For this screencast, we're going to talk about nationalism in Europe. First thing we want to talk about then is nationalism itself. What is nationalism? In order for nationalism to develop in a country or amongst a group of people, there need to be certain elements that are present or that this nation or group of people has in common. Let's take a look at those elements. The first element is culture. So and especially regarding culture specifically here, that means shared beliefs and a way of life to create a common bond. So shared beliefs and a way of life to create a common bond. Next element is a shared history, a shared past that connects the people as a group, in other words. A shared religion, a common religion helps unite people. Next element, language. A common language is a key element of nationalism. And then finally, a shared territory, shared land that gives people a sense of unity. So those are elements of nationalism. Now let's take a look at two specific examples of where nationalism began to take hold in Europe. Our first one will be Italy. Before the period of nationalism, you see Italy here. With all of its regions. Each of its regions are indicated by a different border and different color here. All of these regions, which eventually would unite to become Italy, were divided, and it was nationalism that would hold all of these and bring all these regions together. Let's take a look at that process. First thing to keep in mind, Italy had not been unified since the fall of Rome. It had gone through periods of control by Austria, the Habsburg Empire, which controlled a large portion of Central Europe, and also parts of it had been controlled by France. The rest of Italy that wasn't under control of one of these powers would have been independent city-states. The next thing that happened, the Congress of Vienna created political boundaries that ignored national and ethnic groups. So at the Congress of Vienna, after the fall of Napoleon, borders were just thrown around the map to kind of make the powers that be happy and kind of keep track of all the different countries in Europe. But these boundaries paid no attention to national or ethnic groups who wanted to be unified together, wanted to be in one country. As a result, this one man, Giuseppe Mazzini, he would help to bring Italy together. And what he did, he started Young Italy, which was a nationalist group who fought for unification. He argued that if you were an Italian and you wanted to be part of his group, the idea was that they were going to fight to bring all Italians together as one nation. All right, and so next, the process of unification began in Italy. In 1848, Italian cities rebelled against Austria. In 1849, revolutionaries took control of Rome, and Mazzini and two other leaders governed Rome. So he actually takes control. Next, French troops helped the Pope regain control of Rome. And then last, we have Sardinia, the only successful revolt. And in Sardinia, they wrote a new constitution. In addition to Mazzini, let's take a look at a couple other key people in the process of Italian unification. Our first one is Camillo di Cavour. He's one of the most important leaders. In 1852, he became the Prime Minister of Sardinia, and he allied with France against Russia. That was one of his first political moves he made. He became allies with France against Russia. So the Sardinians and the French team up together against Russia. In 1860, France helped Sardinia defeat Austria, and then last, northern Italian states were liberated as a result. Next, let's take a look at another important person, Giuseppe Garibaldi. He was a military leader during the war against Austria, the war that we just mentioned there where the Sardinians defeated the Austrians. In July 1860, he used guerrilla warfare to take the island of Sicily. Garibaldi's followers were known as the Red Shirts. And what this group did, they helped Cavour's Sardinian troops take control over southern troops. So finally, unification happens. Italy becomes one. In 1866, Austria and Prussia went to war against each other. Italy supported Prussia. It ended up Prussia and Italy it came out on top in that one, defeating Austria. In 1870, France and Prussia went to war. French troops were forced to leave Rome, and Italy takes the city of Rome back. So we've looked at how Italy became a united country. Let's take a look at how Germany became a united country. Now, similar to Italy, Germany was also divided into regions before it became one country, and each of these regions was distinct and kind of ruled its own area autonomously or independently. During the Age of Nationalism, Germans would unite into one country. One person who was key in that unification was a man named Otto von Bismarck. In 1862, he was the Prime Minister of Prussia, which was one of these regions in Germany, one of the independent regions. Bismarck believed that Prussia should lead Germany to unification. And Otto von Bismarck was famous for saying the only way Germany would achieve unification was through blood and iron. And you'll see that's exactly the approach he took to unification. Otto von Bismarck collected taxes to build up the Prussian army, despite objections from his own parliament. So eventually, von Bismarck compiles a large enough army that has enough technology and weaponry to where he is able to actually fight against the French, defeat France, and then that inspires feelings of nationalism amongst Germans. And so lots of other regions in Germany join up with Prussia, and they say, we want to be part of this glorious Prussian military that's winning battles in Europe and winning glory in the name of Germany. And so other groups join up with him. So through military victories, and especially in a war against France, Otto von Bismarck inspires other regions of Germany to team up with him. And in that way, Germany goes from being a group of regions into a unified country eventually.